Am I trying to please man or God? Paul asks this very important question in Galatians chapter 1, verses 10 and 11. Let's read together. For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? Or am I trying to please man? If I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. For I would have you know, brothers, that the gospel that was preached by me is not man's gospel. That's powerful. And there's a lot in there. Let's take some time to unpack it together. The first thing to consider is this: the trap of people pleasing. You and I know how easy it is to get caught up in people pleasing. We want people to like us, to approve of us, maybe even admire us. Social media runs on this: likes, shares, followers, retweets, all of those things. But here's the danger: if our lives are built around pleasing people, we'll always be chasing moving targets. Someone will always be unhappy, always critical, always demanding more. Paul knew that pressure. Judaizers were attacking him, saying he wasn't a real apostle, that his gospel was watered down. But Paul said, listen, if I were still trying to please people, I wouldn't be serving Christ. Here's the truth: you and I can't live for the approval of people and live for the approval of God at the same time. One will always win out over the other. The second thing to consider is the source of the gospel. Paul reminds us that the gospel preached didn't come from human opinion, strategy, or tradition. It came directly from Jesus Christ. Why does that matter? Because if the message came from man, it could be changed to suit man. That would be very confusing and challenging. But since it came from God, it stands firm forever. It's unchanging. And that means that when we stand on God's word, we don't have to bend and shift every time culture does or every time someone disagrees. God's truth doesn't need updating. So when Paul says, I'm not trying to please people, he is saying, I don't have the freedom to change the message. My only responsibility is to faithfully deliver it. And guess what? That's true for us too. Whether it's at work or at school or in conversations with friends, our job isn't to make the gospel popular, it's to make the gospel clear. After all, the third thing to consider is we are living for an audience of one. So, how do we live this out? By remembering that at the end of the day, only one opinion truly matters: God's. When you wake up tomorrow, ask yourself this: am I living for likes or am I living for the Lord? If God is pleased, that's success. If God is honored, that's victory. Even if others misunderstand,